Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. Today it's time to have a coffee catch up. Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. I'm very excited to have a coffee catch up for you today. I know it's a little bit late, but you know how it goes with the holidays. It always gets a little bananas. But I am back with my coffee and I have a whole bunch of yarn and other goodies here to share with you. Coffee, of course. Back to the iced coffee with just some cream. So that is my drink of choice for today. So I'm going to start and get right into it and start with the finished objects. The theme of this episode should really be socks, because I feel like I just have a bunch of socks to show you and a bunch of sock yarn. But that's okay. We all love socks. Well, many of us love socks here at Yarn Purpose. But the first thing I wanted to show you was my advent calendar socks from the Cozy Knitter. So the Cozy Knitter had a skein of yarn that you could buy that was advent themed. So you would basically get the skein of yarn, and then the color repeat in the socks is 24 stripes. And the thought was she had a little knit along. I don't know if she had it on Ravelry. I sort of followed along on Instagram. But then you just sort of knit along on your socks throughout the month of December. So I finished mine pretty quick because I do have big feet. I definitely knew that I was going to need more than 24 stripes on the socks. So I knit about 3 or so stripes a day on each sock. So normally I don't knit my socks 2 at a time, but with this I really did want to try to have them match perfectly, and I wanted to have them done, even though I haven't worn them yet, to be honest. So I did knit them 2 at a time. I like to knit my socks magic loop. I prefer to knit them on a US size 1 using a 32-inch circular needle. So I actually knit them separately. Like, I didn't have the socks on the same needle, if that makes sense. Like, I had 2 32-inch circular needles. I was magic looping this sock on one of them and magic looping this sock on the other one, if that makes sense. So I didn't have them on the same needle. I have tried to knit socks like on the same, 2 socks at the same time on the same needle, and I just repeatedly knit my socks together. So anyway, I love how these turned out. I did 60 stitches and I did the German short row heel, which I do have a tutorial for on Yarn Purpose here. If you are interested, I will leave a link to that down below. But I really love these. So they're not like super Christmassy to me, even though they were advent calendar. They're kind of vintage Christmassy to me, but I really love them. They're so pretty. My friend Jen, who I'll be talking a lot about this episode, she had the yarn too, so she's been working on her socks as well. So you can see here, of course, I didn't weave in the ends yet or anything, but I'll probably be wearing these soon because this yarn was really nice to work with, and I really do love them. They're so pretty. So that was like the main thing I finished. This was selfish knitting for the holidays. And then the other thing I did knit was some rainbow socks for my nieces. You may recall, I've talked about it before. They had seen my rainbow socks that were knit out of White Birch Fiber Arts yarn. The colorway is Nothing Says Screw You Like a Rainbow. And my 2 nieces that live nearby had seen them, and the older of the 2 had told me, she told me that she really needed some rainbow socks because they would be really warm in the winter and they would be very cozy while she was drinking hot chocolate. I mean, how could I say no to that? So I had bought another skein of the yarn and then planned to knit the socks out of them. So my nieces are 6 and 8.5. The 8.5-year-old does have giant feet like her aunt, but I did manage to get both pairs of socks out of one skein of yarn, but I only had maybe 10 yards or less left. I'm pretty sure I have the leftovers from my socks here somewhere, so I wasn't too worried. I thought, well, I could just dig around in my office and probably find my leftovers from my socks if necessary, but it fortunately did not come to that. So I gave them their socks for Christmas, and I will insert a picture here so you can see them. Yeah, so you can see that they're so cute. My niece, the 8.5-year-old, she told me that this is so gross. But I think that, I mean, I don't have kids, but I just feel like that's kids for you. She told me that she's been wearing the socks every single day since Christmas, and she has not washed them, that they were in her hamper, and she took them back out so she could wear them again. So she basically just wears them every day. But I went out to dinner with her and her sister and my sister, her mom, and my brother-in-law last night, and my sister said that she was going to pry them off her feet tonight to wash them. So I feel like that proves her knitworthiness when you want to wear your socks every day for a week and not wash them. Again, kind of gross. The 6-year-old, she did like her socks, but I do feel like they ended up being a little bit big, which, you know, when it comes to kid knitting, especially like socks, their feet grow so fast. This was like, I almost didn't want to do it because I'm like, their feet aren't going to fit them in like 6 months, but they wanted them so bad. But with the 6-year-old, the socks probably were a hair too big. But she did wear them on Christmas Day. Like, both of them took their socks that they had on off and immediately put on the socks that I made them. So the 6-year-old, you know, I think she will wear them, but they were a little big on her, but I figured she could grow into them too. So so that was like the main Christmas knitting that I did. I did knit some socks, which I don't even have a picture of. I don't even think I have them on Ravelry. I ended up knitting a pair of socks for my nephew, and there's kind of like this crazy story that goes with it. So I had pretty recently started a pair of socks for him out of Knit Picks Felici Sport, and I was running out of time to knit them, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to, like, finally it's happened. I'm gonna have to like put one sock in a box and like with the half finished second sock and like be like, I'll make these for you later. But then I was like in my office a couple days before Christmas, and I was looking for a project bag, like a specific project bag. Wasn't even looking for socks or sock yarn. I found a pair of socks that I had already knit for him in like my project bag, like little cubby thing. I like don't even really remember when I finished them. I don't think I have a picture of them on Ravelry. They were also knit out of Knit Picks Felici Sport. And I like measured them, and they were definitely his size socks. So it was like a Christmas knitting miracle that I like found these socks. So I gave him the ones that were already done at some random point in 2018. So I gave him those that I found, which were for him. And so I figured out I have a head start on his next pair of socks. So but like I don't have a picture of those. So yeah, so that was really great that I just like randomly found that pair of socks. So that's really it on the finished objects. You know, now I'm sort of back to the work knitting and stuff now that I've finished up all those socks, but yeah, that's it for FOs. So let's get into the works in progress, which is also socks. So I had said on Instagram that I was going to take a bunch of yarn from my stash, 12 skeins. Well, enough yarn to make 12 pairs of socks, because I have some 50-gram balls of yarn. So I like put those together because that's like one pair of socks. So I took enough yarn to make 12 pairs of socks and out of my stash, and I've shoved them into a bag. I have the bag here. This bag was like a freebie that I got from like India Untangled or something, and there's yarn falling out of it. So I picked a bunch of different yarns from my stash. I'm not going to go through all this. You can see it on my Instagram, Jen Lucas Designs, if you want to see specifically what's in here. So I've put them in this bag, and then my plan is, which I have started, is that every month I'm going to randomly pick yarn out of that bag, and then I'm going to knit socks. So I actually took a video for my Instagram stories of me picking my January yarn, and so I saved it on my phone. So It's not like the greatest quality because the phone's flipped the other way, but I'm going to go ahead and insert that in for you here so you can see me picking my January sock yarn. So you might remember from a previous Instagram post, I had picked out 12 yarns to do socks for 2019, and I was going to shove them all in a bag and then pick one out, and then whichever one I picked out, those were the socks I was going to knit that month. And so it was just like a way to, you know, use up some stash, a fun little challenge, whatever. So anyway, this bag I had gotten when I was at Rhinebeck. It was like a freebie from like Indie Untangled or something. It's really stuffed with yarn. So I think my plan is that I'm going to dump it out and then just like mix it up and like look away and pick. So here's all my yarns. Some of them I have 2 balls of yarn, but they're both in here. So if I pick one, then I'll obviously take the other one out as well. Okay, we have a little problem. Here we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so here are all my yarns. Okay, I'm not looking. I'm like trying to look away and like mix them up. Okay, okay, okay. There we go. All right, so I'm mixing them up. There's a little bit of a yarn tangle in there, but okay, let's go. So now I'm just going to turn away and I'm going to pick one, and whichever one I pick, that will be my January socks. Okay, ready? Ready? It's this one. Ooh, very fallish. So my first socks for January will be Nomadic Yarns Diagon in the Twisty socks. So those will be my January socks. So you can see it was Nomadic Yarns Diagon Alley. So I was really excited. I did put a lot of Nomadic yarns in there because I do have quite the collection. So I have it in this Shelly can bag that I got from Indie Untangled in October. Very cute. I think it's more for notions, but it fits a sock perfectly. And so here is the yarn right here. Oh, it's so pretty. And then I've just sort of started the first sock, you know, we're at the beginning of the month. So just top down like usual, 60 stitches on a US size 1 32-inch circular to do magic loop. But I'm loving these colors. So it was kind of funny because it's more like, even though it's Harry Potter color, I feel that it is kind of fallish, but I'll wear fall socks in January. I don't care. So very cute. So that's really the main like whip that I have. I don't really have anything else that I've been really knitting on other than work stuff. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this challenge. I don't really know if I will be able to get through 12 pairs of socks in a year. That is a lot for me. Some of the socks I might do different sizes, just because I don't know, based on like my current amount of socks I have in my sock drawer, if I don't know that I really need 12 more pairs of hand knit socks. But it's like a fun little challenge just to sort of work on something easy every month, you know, when I go to knit night and things like that. So very excited about my January socks. So that's it for that. So now we can get into acquisitions. So I can't remember if I talked about this before in a coffee catch-up. I think I did. I want, my friends and I that I went to Rhinebeck with this last year, which is like basically my knit and crochet group, we were talking about like needing to do a little bit of a stash down or yarn diet. Well, I don't really like yarn diets because like I just feel like it doesn't work. I still end up just buying yarn. So we kind of talked about it and we thought it would be good to have a stash down. So, you know, some people do like for every, you know, you can't, like, you have a ratio. So it'd be like, oh, 1 in, 1 out. Well, that would be keeping your stash the same. Or like every 2 skeins you use, then you could buy 1. My group, we settled on 3. So for every 3 skeins of yarn you use up, you can like buy another one for your stash or whatever. So far, I have not been doing so good. I don't know what happened. But anyway, so some yarn has come in, not too much though. So, but hopefully this stash down will help us like keep it in check. I just really think all of us, after we went to Rhinebeck, I mean, you know, we love going to Rhinebeck and seeing all the yarn and buying all the yarn. That's like our big yarn shopping trip of the year. but we're like, you know, we should really focus this year on trying to use some of that up. So I'm looking forward. And sort of that's like, I think with my little sock yarn bag challenge thing, like that will help with me, like rediscovering some of the yarns in my stash. It's kind of funny. I went through a period of time where I didn't really buy a lot of sock yarn, but in the last year or so, whew, I really started building that sock yarn stash back up. But anyway, so I'm going to show you some of the yarn that has come in. One of them I bought, and then I am going to show you what my friend Jen got me for Christmas as far as the yarn goes, because it's really pretty and I want to show you. So the first thing I'm going to show you is what I bought. So my friend Jen, Enabler, she reminded me that Mustache Yarn was going to have their like Camp Cal 2018 kits available, and then I immediately forgot to set an alarm on my phone, but fortunately for me, she's a really good friend, and so she just ended up buying mine, and then I paid her for it. So Mustache Yarns, I think she does this every year where she has like a little kit that goes together with all like the yarn, and there's other goodies in there, and then I think that there is some kind of knit along that will be starting soon, but anyway, so it is Mustache Yarns. It's a Space Camp 2018, so it is space themed, so I love space themed stuff these days, so this was perfect for me. Let's see. So it has the must match skeins in here, so it's actually 2 skeins that will match. And let's see, it is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, fingering weight 435 yards, 100 grams total, so you know, and it's split into 2 skeins. And let's see, the colorway on this I guess is Cassiopeia. So pretty. I like live for jewel tones, so I love that. And I don't know if you can really see the sparkle, but it does have sparkle to it. It's really pretty. So in addition to this, it came with some astronaut ice cream. I mean, I feel like I'll eat this at some point. I'll go into the cabinet, and one night I'm sure my husband and I will give it a try. But that's cute. It came with this beautiful mug from Hill Country Pottery, and it's got like this Camp Cal 2018 logo on it. So very nice. Looking forward to drinking coffee out of that. It came with this little drawstring project bag. So when I go to knit these socks, I will definitely be using the project bag. And then it came with a couple of soaps from Tuft Woolens. Oh, it came with one. Oh, this thing's over here. Okay. So from Tuft Woolens, it came with a few things. It came with this luxury bath bar. I'll admit this smells good, but the smell for me on this one's a little strong. I don't know like what scent is in here that is kind of giving me a little bit of a headache. So I'll probably end up passing this one along to somebody else, but I love the colors on it. I think it's so cool. And then it came with a sock soap, which I've never used sock soap before. Like I just use whatever wool wash that like is liquid, that, you know, like comes in a bottle. So according to this, it says lather soap under cool running water while filling sink or washing machine. For extra cleansing, gently rub directly onto the soles of your socks and then soak for 10 to 20 minutes without agitation and rinse. So it's like a bar of soap that you can use to wash your woolens instead of like the liquid sort of like detergent looking wool wash. So I'm excited to try that. This one smells good and doesn't give me a headache, so I will be keeping that one. And then it also came with the hand and body balm, which I had bought some of the hand and body balm at not India Untangled, Needles Up over Rhinebeck weekend. So this one smells really good too. I'm not really good at identifying like what the smell is, but just trust me, it smells good. So that was from Mustache Yarn, the Camp Cal 2018 kit. So I'm really excited about that one. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like this is gonna, I might have to cast on with this soon, even though it's not in that stash bag, but maybe I'll knit 13 pairs of socks this year. I don't know. Anyway, so I was very happy that my friend Jen picked that up for me. That was very sweet. That she was thinking of me and realized that I probably had not set an alarm to pick it up when it went on sale. And then speaking of Jen, she gave me some great stuff for Christmas, but I just wanted to share the yarn with you. So sweet. It's like Christmassy themed, so I can get ready and maybe have some Christmas socks for me or my husband, or maybe my nieces. They might like a pair of Christmas socks for next year. So the first one is Nomadic yarns. You know I love that Nomadic yarns. And this one's Santa's Little Helper in the Twisty Sport, which is 328 yards for 100 grams, and that's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. I love the Twisty Sport. It just makes really nice socks. So very Christmassy on that one. And then the other one, I don't think I've ever had this kind of yarn from this yarn dyer before. It's Fiber Nymph Dye Works. And the colorway on this is Busy Little Elves. And this is the Bounce yarn base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's 400 yards of fingering weight yarn. So it's like almost like a pinky corally red here and the different greens. So this is like something that, I mean, it is Christmassy, but it doesn't scream Christmas. This screams Christmas to me. This one's like subtly Christmas. So both very, very cute. So hopefully if I'm doing good on all my sock knitting, I will have some more Christmas socks for next year. So that's really it on the acquisitions. Like I said, me and my friends, we're just trying to reel it in a little bit on the yarn buying this year. I haven't made any progress on my sweaters, so I'm trying to get through some of the sweaters that are in progress and then work on at least 1 to 2 sweaters that I have in my stash, because now I probably have like enough yarn for like 4 sweaters in my stash, which is not how I usually roll. So I definitely won't be buying any sweater quantities of yarn anytime soon, but you know, that sock yarn just sneaks in there sometimes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then as far as work goes, I did release a new pattern at the very end of 2018. So these are some fingerless mitts. I have kind of big hands. I knit these to my size so I could actually like wear them. But this is Iliamna. I will leave a link to it down below. But they're just some easy fingerless mitts. The pattern's like very easy on these. It's just panels on both sides. It's just like an easy lace pattern that has like that little bit of garter stitch. And yeah, I really love these. So I'll leave a link to these down below along with the yarn information. It is Anzula Katara yarn, which is like a beautiful yak blend. I really, really love knitting with it, and they're very, very warm. So I'll leave a link to those down below. And then other than that, I've just been doing a lot of shawl knitting lately. If you ever want to see sneak peeks of the shawls and things that I'm working on for work, I always have a link to my Patreon page down below, so you can get more information about that. I do videos and show pictures of more of the work stuff that I'm working on while it's in progress there. So that's it for today. I hope that everybody had a great holiday season and that the start of 2019 has been really good for you. I'm looking forward to all the knitting and crocheting and fiber arts that we're going to tackle in 2019. And if you have any sort of knitting goals or crochet goals or yarn goals for 2019, I'd love to hear them down below. I guess my goal is to see how many socks I can knit. I think really my goal is to make sure that I'm taking some time beyond just like working the work knitting to do like a little personal knitting. And so I think that my bag of sock yarn will hopefully help with that. So that's sort of my goal for 2019. So if you liked this video, go ahead and give it that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you like, you can turn on notifications to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope that everybody has a great week, and I hope that your 2019 has started out great. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye.